12 years old, and between, being 30 and reading UFO books, you had an inkling, though, that missing time event that happened to you might be related to this topic? Or because when you say, you weren't really looking to let that be the explanation, you were at least acutely aware of the possibility that other people had experienced similar phenomenon and it had been tied into UFO events.
Absolutely. I took it very seriously, other people's claims, and I denied my own.
And when you say, it made for a good campfire story, that means that you were at least willing to share it with people, though.
Totally open about it. Yeah, I would tell people I saw UFO and say, and I would read UFO books and say, like, well, I trust these people's testimonies because I have my own testimony of seeing a UFO. And the sighting isn't all that exciting. I would have been 12 years old. I grew up in suburban Michigan. I was at a friend's house and looking out a bedroom window on a weekend night. It was sleepover at his house. I couldn't have been that late because his parents were still up. His mom was still up. And I remember, I can't remember if it was him or me that said, "Hey, look." And we watched for the next 30 seconds or so this very distinct, rather close-up craft of some sort of coffee can shaped, descending in the nighttime sky, and it eventually, what I used to say is that the lights turned off, and I no longer say that. I say it disappeared, and I just say that because I've read enough. That I always knew that it disappeared, but I was shy of saying that it just blink, vanished, gone, and that's what happened after about 30 seconds. What we both did is ran downstairs to his kitchen table, and there were paper and pencils that we had been drawing earlier in the day, and we both drew what we had seen. Now, I don't have his name was Kenny, and I don't have his drawing, but I certainly have mine still after 40-plus years. And it and it's interesting to have like a drawing that was done within minutes of seeing the craft itself.
But that wasn't the same. Was that the same incident of when you had missing time, or was that a separate experience?
That was a separate event, and the missing time event happened in that I can pinpoint quite accurately. Would have been the autumn of 1974, because there was a television show which I mentioned earlier. Curiously, it was Kolchak the Night Stalker, and there was a high school football game, and that high school football game it would have been in autumn. And while walking home from the football game with a friend, we got to a certain point on the sidewalk. I could draw an X on the sidewalk exactly where it was, and there was this weird orange flash in the sky. It felt like God lit up the entire sky, this eerie electric orange, for 1 second, and then clicked it right off. So it was just, calm, lovely autumn night, bing, orange, bing, back to calm, lovely autumn night. And then when we got home, so there was no craft to see that night, but it was a very unusual thing that I'd never seen before or since. And both of us in the moment were just like, what just happened? I mean, even as 12-year-old boys, we kind of went through the checklist. Is this a meteorite? Is this a lightning? Did something explode over the horizon? Did a power line explode? And none of that seemed to make sense. It was absolutely silent. And when I got home, my parents were angry at me for being out so late. I should have been home in time to see Kolchak the Night Stalker, which would have started at 10 o'clock, and instead I was home at 11:30. So it's between an hour and a half. It's hard to know what's exactly, because I can't remember exactly when I left the football game, but it would have been between an hour and a half to 2 hours of missing time.
And being a young teenager, it's pretty hard to explain. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. Sure.
I was baffled. Yeah, my parents were angry, and I was baffled. I had absolutely no excuse, and I was just like, nope, it doesn't make any sense. I left the football game at this time, and it should not be 11:30.
But other than that, you had no recollection of the experience, just the light, and then the time was gone.
I didn't even factor it in. And this is a decade before Bud Hopkins published Missing Time. So, I would never even cross my mind there was anything paranormal about it.
Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you check us out every Saturday night live at 10 p.m. Make sure to hit that subscribe button too.